Sega Dudes. Welcome to another episode of Sega Dudes with Master Welch and myself, Awazrim. How are you doing tonight, Welch?
Doing good, man. How you doing?
Doing well. Glad I'm not having your tech issues tonight.
Yeah, it's a little annoying, but get it working somehow.
That's right. Podcast verified. Something that came out recently was the Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. It's free to play on Steam. I actually went through and played it, and it's an interesting thing. I don't know if it's... I don't think I'd ever go back and play it again. It's pretty linear, straightforward. It's a murder mystery. You're trying to figure out what's going on, and then you're like, oh crap, is he actually dead? What? It's like, no, that doesn't make any sense. But it's a mystery. You find out at the end what's going on. Who was the murderer of Sonic? Did he actually die? Oh no! But there's like a little mini game. Like, okay, you got to think about this, and then it would throw you in a little like 3/4 overhead view of an auto runner. You have to collect a certain number of coins, and then once you get the number of coins, then you finish your thought process and can continue on. And the little mini game just got annoying because it kind of like pulled you out of the game, and it was just really different. I mean, you collect rings, you avoid obstacles. It's a Sonic thing, but it doesn't really go with the rest of the game, which is kind of like a point and click mystery.
Yeah, I guess that game was thrown together by the actual people that run the Sonic the Hedgehog social media. Like, it was kind of like, I read somewhere on their social media that they had a hand in the development of it. Like if you ever watch their Instagram or YouTube, it's just called Sonic the Hedgehog. And it shows the actual like Sonic doing his finger thing like this.
Yeah.
And it's cool. They put cool holiday updates out there and promote the Sonic material and Sega stuff in general. So they're kind of a central source outside of Sega Corporation's mouth,
Yeah.
So they had a hand in it somehow, is what I had read.
Yeah, in the credits they thanked Sega for letting them put it together and whatnot.
Oh, cool. So you've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. It like I said, I don't think I'd go back and play it again. If you like mystery style games, you might like it, but it's slow. It's weighed down a little bit by the mini game, and just okay. There's like a ton of click 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 because there's a ton of text. I was like, I don't necessarily need to read all of this, or I can read it a little bit quicker than you're putting it out there, because it's like instead of just going, it's all there. Read it, move on. Like, I can read faster than that. Let's go. Come on, hurry up.
Hey, let me see if I can do that, Owaz.
Hurry up!
Instead,
I want all the text at once. At least everything that'll fit in that box, because you're like dink dink instead of going, let me hold it down or keep hitting it to try to speed it up.
Yeah, I want to play it. I added it to my Steam list. I just got distracted that week. We were talking about playing it and then coming back and both reviewing on it. I haven't had a chance to yet. Right now I'm kind of just been occupied with a few other things, so I've been just backing off on playing a lot of stuff in general. I'm just focusing on one game right at the moment, but I definitely want to get in and play that. I thought it looked cool with the old like going up the screen around the obstacles and stuff. I thought that looked pretty cool.
Yeah, that's the mini game I'm talking about that got annoying.
And it just gave me like a Professor Layton vibe from seeing it.
Yep, I can totally see that. I don't think I'd play it again. It was kind of neat to go through it and, have try not to give too much away. The way you interacted with the characters and the roles that they were playing, because it was like Murder on the Orient Express, but it was, I guess, the death of Sonic on the train.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name of the train, if it even had one.
Yeah.
Not it's, but like for me personally, it's not super memorable, and so. But, oh yeah, I played that. Next year, I probably have forgotten all about it, except for the mini games. Where I'm gonna be like, no, yeah, no. I mean, it's kind of neat because they kind of reference a Game Gear, because they call it's the little thing that you play on when you're seeing that the auto scroller. They call it the Dream Gear, and it's got the colors from the Game Gear, the red, green, and blue. So it's a nice touch, but there's times when you have to go through it several times. The final fight was actually kind of neat. I enjoyed that, but the collecting the rings just got tiresome.
Yeah. I guess, do you think that that's just something? I mean, it was free,
Yeah, it's free to play.
Sega, a free game. Do you feel like there was a focus on the game itself to acknowledge the other characters that are in the Sonic world?
Yeah, because I don't think this will be giving too much away. It's Amy's birthday party, so everyone's getting together.
Hmm.
And that's kind of the impetus for the whole thing. But
Well, I mean, from what I noticed is it from screenshots and trailers, it was showing, dudes from the, Knuckles Chaotix game on the 32X, the crocodile dude, alligator dude,
yeah,
that little horn nose
I think
thing.
Vector, and yeah, I don't remember their names. Amy, I know. Tails, I know. Knuckles, I know. And outside of that, there was no Big the Cat.
Yeah, I
I forget
think
the
some
other
of
name.
those characters are from Chaotix, which was 32X.
But I think they've been brought into the more of the Sonic world through games and other media.
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean, I guess I'm glad I played through it because it was kind of interesting. I guess the biggest complaint was like it took too long because of the da 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 as opposed to the
I won't duplicate this time.
that 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 and just the repetition of the mini game. I think would be my two biggest complaints, and that's why there's just like, I mean, once you know the story, I don't know if there's any reason to really go back and play it again.
Yeah, I'll have to give it a try and kind of reflect on a little bit on what you said and see what I think on it, and what kind of feel I get for it overall. To me, it just looks like a Professor Layton mixed with like some kind of Game Gear mini game that you
Yep.
would see on the Game Gear. So it might have some relevance, but like all Sonic things, they're trying to make all these side tales now, and uh, we'll see. I mean, they may end up doing another one, something totally different.
And I would, even with everything I've said, I would probably play it just to try it out because I'm a bit of a Sega and a Sonic fan, so it'd be worth checking it out. I'm still waiting for Sonic Frontiers to drop in price so I can grab that and play through it.
Yeah, yeah, Sonic Frontiers. Oh yeah, that's awesome. I haven't played any of the DLC yet. I kind of packed up all my PS5 extras that were laying around. Um, I do want to get back on that though, because I guess like they've put a little more of the classic Sonic feel in with the DLC.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I want to go back and I love that game, man. That game was awesome. I feel like people gave it a hard time more than it deserved. I feel like that is a masterpiece of a Sonic game that came out versus games from the Wii U era, games that were uh, I'm trying to figure out. There was Lost Worlds. There was one other one, but they were just that whole single path colors HD. That single path rushing, and they have that in that, but they have that open world setup to where you're going around getting the story. You go in the levels, and the levels aren't necessarily 100% required for the story, other than you getting a piece to unlock further in the game. And I don't know. I think that's great. I think the ending, I won't spoil it, was a little lackluster, but I've been seeing some hints on Sega's Twitter and their Instagram. It shows a scene from the ending, and I think there's something to that. They wouldn't just tease that without there being a purpose. So maybe they're going to create some kind of alternate ending. So yeah, that's exciting to me, and I hope that they at least keep that engine for the next game and learn from this one, if anything.
Yeah, like I haven't played it. I haven't played it. I don't even know if there's a demo or anything. Like I had some issues with just like it didn't look like your typical Sonic game, which just as growing up playing the original Sonic the Hedgehog and stuff, you come to expect certain things from a Sonic game, and I think that's why Sonic and the Secret Rings and the Black Knight on the Wii they were different and why they caught so much flack. But after watching some gameplay, I was like, okay, this looks actually kind of interesting. I wouldn't mind playing it. Let me keep an eye out for it. And I went to a GameStop, and they had some of the steel books that they were just giving away. So I grabbed a steelbook. So I have a steelbook for the game, but I don't have the actual game. So
Yeah, I think that came with the steelbook. I think I have the steelbook for that Sonic game that came out, Frontiers.
the new version of Sonic Origins that's coming out.
Yep, I'm all over that. I'm definitely waiting on that. I'm picking that one up.
Yeah, Sonic Origins Plus. They added a bunch of the Game Gear games. They didn't touch the Master System games, which is interesting because it wouldn't be that much more difficult to add those in.
Yeah, that kind of surprised me too, because what was the Sonic game on there? It looked really sharp. Um Man, and it was different from the others. Dude, they released it on the Genesis as well and the Game Gear, but the Master System one had this different look. The characters looked plasticky on it, like a lot of. Gosh, which one was that?
Well, they did. What was it? Triple Trouble, Sonic Chaos, and Sonic 2.
It wasn't those. It was man,
What else?
I don't know. I seen Master System Marceau playing it though a lot recently.
Which one am I thinking of? Because there's Sonic Labyrinth, but Labyrinth I don't think was on the Master System.
No, it wasn't Labyrinth. It was man. It was a European only release too.
But Chaos?
Nope. Chaos has tails in it. It's not Chaos. I think it was Blast.
Oh, 3D Blast?
Sonic Blast, yep. Yep, Sonic Blast. Yep, that
Okay.
one looks awesome,
Yeah.
man. Do you have that one?
I've got it for the Genesis. But that's the one where they try to make it 3D, and like again, it doesn't control quite as well as you would.
It looks good though, man. That one looks real good. Because it has Knuckles in it. Knuckles is in it as well, and I guess like I can't remember. Master System Marceau knows the lowdown on those, like playing as Sonic or Knuckles.
Yeah, Sonic Origins Plus. I think that's going to be I was waiting for the original Origins to physical release and drop in price because they had all the different versions you could get digitally. It's like I just want to get them all together, and since they're doing the Plus, this looks like the one it might be to pick up, and hopefully it'll have everything you need in yet another Sonic collection.
Yeah.
I mean, I've already got a lot of them from like the Genesis Mega Drive collection. Then there's the Sonic collection on the 360, or Sonic's Ultimate Genesis collection and Mega Drive collection on the PS3 and the 360, which has a couple Master System games that you can unlock, which is really nice because it's Phantasy Star and Golden Axe Warrior, which are two of the more expensive titles. But it definitely sounds like they were actually listening and like, okay, people weren't exactly happy with the first outing. Let's go with this.
But
Hopefully
it's still it's still sub-complete though, because doesn't it have Sega CD on it? Sonic CD.
I believe it has Sonic CD on it.
Yeah. So I mean, what's still missing though is the Master System, and then the 32X, if you want to count that as canon too.
Chaotix.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd include Chaotix as a in with that, just because it's not Sonic. It's Knuckles trying to go off and do his own thing.
You know, the interesting thing is I'm looking at it on the PlayStation Store, and it says in-game purchases optional.
Yeah, because the
music packs.
Well, there's music pack, and then the digital deluxe version of Origins has hard missions, mirror mode unlocked in the game, and the regular version, it's unlockable. But then the digital deluxe version has 10 letterbox backgrounds, character animation in main menu, camera controls over main menu island, character animations during music island, additional music from Mega Drive and Genesis titles. And then there's also the music pack, which all that's supposed to be included in Plus. And then there's some other games that were unlockable, because it says Sonic 1, 2, Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and Sonic CD.
Yeah, it's interesting. New unlockable missions, coins, and museum for stuff as well. And the thing that I thought was interesting about Sonic Origins, and I never bought it because I was waiting out for a physical copy, because they never released Origins as a physical copy, was the cutscenes. Like, there was this one cutscene that Sega posted, and it was Amy messing with some tarot cards, and something about Sonic in it, and I was like, well, where did that come from? Was that from a cartoon? You know, I didn't know which one it was from, and I did a little research, and I seen it was from inside the game itself, and I was like, oh, well, that's kind of cool, you know, little animated cutscenes.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely want to play it to see those, because I mean, I was a fan of the cartoon, and you know, speaking of the cartoon, I want to get back on it. I started watching that series a couple years ago when they released it out on DVD, and I never finished it. I want to get back to watching the series, but a year later, it's funny, as I bought that collection, they released another version of that collection, but they put it on Blu-ray. And it's like, all right, but they didn't do any changes to it. They just put it all on Blu-ray, so it was less discs.
Hey, that works though. Especially if you can get it all on one disc.
Yeah.
As long as it looks okay. But so yeah, Sonic Origins Plus is coming out the end of June on the 20th. Well, towards the end of June. It's the 23rd, and it's $40 for the Switch and the PlayStation 4 and 5 and Xbox One and Series X. So,
I'm buying it. That's all I know.
I'll probably buy it, but I'll probably wait for a sale. Oh, that's right. I forgot they added it in so you could play as Amy Rose in the Sonic 2, 3, and Knuckles. But it's also going to have the Game Gear games.
Did that have Drift and Drift 2 and...
Featuring 12 Sonic Game Gear titles. Playable Knuckles and Sonic CD. Okay, so now Amy Rose being playable is a new thing for Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles, and Sonic CD. No picture that just like, these are the 12 Game Gear games. And But I mean, I guess it's gonna be Sonic, Sonic 2, Sonic Chaos, Sonic Labyrinth. What is it? Tails Adventure? Probably Sonic Drift, Sonic Drift 2,
See, it's still incomplete though because
Sonic
even
Spinball
for the Game Gear titles, you should
needs.
have Sonic Drift, Sonic Drift 2. You should have Tails Adventures, and then you got Tails Sky Patrol, which was another Game Gear. Like I've tried to collect all of them, but I think I'm still missing a couple of the Game Gear ones. And um, they should really, if they want a definitive set, is include those titles as well because they are putting. I guess like are they just putting the Western releases?
Yeah, so okay, I found a list on Polygon. So it says Sonic the Hedgehog, Hedgehog 2, Hedgehog 3, and Knuckles, and Sonic CD, which was already part of Origins. And now the Game Gear games, it's not a complete list, but it has Sonic, Sonic 2, Sonic Chaos, Sonic Spinball, Sonic Drift, Triple Trouble, Drift 2, Labyrinth, Tails Adventure, and Sonic Blast.
Always short, man.
There's two
They're
more.
always short.
Well, there's always some reason why they're holding stuff back. Whatever it is, it's as irritating as it might be.
Like I think those are all the Western because Labyrinth came out in the US. So Labyrinth 2 I think was a Japan only.
Yeah, if that's the case, they probably didn't want to have to translate it. But see, they
Or
only
not or my mistake, not Labyrinth 2, Drift 2.
Drift 2. No, Drift 2 is included.
Yeah, but I think was Drift 2 US though.
Yes.
It was a US release, okay.
But that's only listing 10 games, and so there's two others, and I don't know what those are. And that's over a month old article.
All I know is when it gets here, I'm definitely gonna play it, kind of go back and revisit. I've actually been kind of feeling the itch a little bit to play some classic Sonic. Just play the old Sonic games like Sonic 3 and Knuckles, I think were definitely my favorite. I'm looking at this here too. It's talking about the music jukebox and it's saying Sonic Spinball. Where do we see anything about Sonic Spinball?
Sonic Spinball for the Game Gear is going to be added.
But they didn't include the Genesis one?
No. At least not on
That's
that list that I see.
that's so weird. It's like why would you want to play the Game Gear version of that versus the Genesis one? Just from responsiveness.
Yeah. But who knows what kind of licensing issues there might be for any and all of those titles that they've included, not let alone what the ones that they didn't. Because we know there's always some issues with Sonic 3 and something with Michael Jackson providing some of the music or something.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see regardless just to play them all if they're all there or not. And I mean, so be it. But Labyrinth, that's another interesting game, honestly, for the Game Gear. It plays a little janky, but it gets kind of fun after a little bit. Get a couple levels into it, and then you're like, hey, this isn't half bad,
Yeah, sometimes that's the way it goes. But yeah, it'll definitely be on my want list, but it'll be pick it up later. But that's just part and parcel with anything released on modern consoles. It's just don't have a ton of time to play games, and I, don't want to pick up a bunch more games that are just going to sit on the shelf.